Every so often, the Sports Hangover touches on mature topics. Discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar. That's Jeremy Garrison. And Happy New Year's, Jeremy.
Happy New Year, happy football season.
Yes.
How rare is it that this happens on the same day?
It's big. It's huge. 1 day away from the NFL starting, and we're going to run down some NFL predictions. All right? First
Just to be
one.
clear, it's the Jewish New Year.
Yes.
We're not saying that the year starts when the NFL starts.
Oh, I thought they'd get it. Hopefully.
Not everyone gets it.
I know. All right. First one, Jeremy, we're going to go through MVP of the year. Now, I have two choices here. Is that okay that I have two?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Well, why don't you go with your one first, and
You
then
narrow it down.
Okay.
I have a dark horse MVP candidate.
Okay.
A guy who I think is going to emerge as the best wide receiver in the NFL this year.
Okay.
A guy who will lead the league in touchdown catches, receiving yards, and lead his team to playoffs despite poor quarterback play.
Jeremy, I think we might have even selected the same person.
Des Bryant?
No.
I went with Des Bryant as my MVP. I think he's going to have a humongous season.
You almost described one of my two picks. I had AJ Green. You were almost describing exactly what is up with his team.
That's funny, isn't it?
Poor quarterback play. He'll get a lot of reception. He's the star on the team. He was the one receiver that I thought could really take it to the next level and help them make a Super Bowl run. Now, my other choice was Doug Martin. If he can get it together, and the team, if Josh Freeman can get it together, and the offensive line keeps it together so everybody's okay back there.
A lot of keeping it together.
Yeah. Doug Martin could be an MVP this year and outrun Adrian Peterson.
That's a bold statement. Maybe bolder than Dez and AJ Green being better than Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
I would say the Bucs, it's hard to imagine a Bucs player being MVP because to be MVP, you have to have a good season.
Yeah.
Your team has to make the playoffs. I don't see the Bucs doing either one of those things.
Well, Jeremy, you'll be very surprised in another one of my picks.
Okay.
So Super Bowl odds, right? Not Super Bowl odds, but Super Bowl contenders. Who are you going to pick from the AFC and the NFC? Jeremy?
All right, starting the AFC, I think the AFC is really down this year, Mike.
Okay.
I don't like the AFC teams. I think the NFC is very top heavy. I would pick, I think the fourth best team in the NFC is better than the best team in the AFC, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the Houston Texans to represent the AFC.
Okay.
And I think another bold prediction, Ben Tate will have a better year than Arian Foster on the Texans.
Well, that's not good for my fantasy team, so.
So Texans, Matt Schaub, Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hawkins, you know about the defense. I think they're a great team in the AFC. In the NFC, I think the team that beats the Texans in the Super Bowl is the San Francisco 49ers.
Jeremy, I mean, not a very bold, but they are two very, very strong teams that you gambled on one of them last year, and it almost came true.
Came close.
It was a big, big shot, and it almost came true. I had the text, and now on each one of these, the top two here, I have four teams because I can
More than required.
I know. I can never narrow it down.
But
So
that's just how you go.
So here's my number one. This is what I think could potentially happen. I'm saying it could be the Eagles versus the Patriots. Patriots winning the Super Bowl.
Wow. That's bold for several reasons. I want to start with the Eagles.
Yes.
You think Michael Vick, Chip Kelly's offense, a lack of a defense gets them to the Super Bowl in year one?
I think if they have a high-powered offense like the Patriots, who don't have a very good defense, they seem to make it there quite often.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking offense helps defense make them get a Super Bowl run.
Now, you say the Patriots have a high-powered offense.
Not this
They
year.
lost their top 5 receivers from last year.
I'm just saying it's all on Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the offense. All right,
I don't think the Patriots win that division. I think the Miami Dolphins do, and that's not a homer pick. That's a calculated pick.
Here's my second Super Bowl pick. This was a much bigger long shot. It would be the Texans versus the Bucks in the Super Bowl.
Why are you so high on the Bucks?
I think things could come together. I think they're like a team that has a lot of good talent. Sometimes they're not all together. If maybe they took this offseason and really prepped, studied some film, worked out. If Josh Freeman isn't a schmuck, they could be a Super Bowl contender. This could be a team. They have Doug Martin, and if they can just rest their shoulders on him and they run up the field, they could do it.
I mean, Doug Martin isn't the second coming of Adrian Peterson here. He's a second-year player out of wherever he's out of, Boise State, right? Boise
Sure.
State.
I honestly have
Sure.
no idea.
That could be wrong, and if it is,
I
comment
agree.
down below.
I agree with you.
The Bucks have looked awful this preseason. I think they're going to have a shitty season. I think they're going to go 6-10, Mike. I don't even think they sniff the playoffs.
Okay. All right. Well, Jeremy, this is all documented. So at the end of the season, we'll look back and see who
But
was
you
right.
did get 4 teams in the Super Bowl. I don't understand how
I did.
that's.
Well, that was my long shot. That was the long shot. Okay. So if that one doesn't even count if it comes
You're
true.
agreeing with the Texans, though. I like that.
First coach to get fired. This one to me was very easy. I'm saying it's Rex Ryan. I don't know how he's still there. I don't know why he's still coaching that team. It seems like he's sucking off the GM or something. But Rex Ryan should be the first coach fired.
It doesn't make sense. We have another show with updated Tim Tebow news on the site right now that we went in depth on Tebow and the Jets. We're not going to worry about that right here. I think that's an easy choice, saying that the Jets and Rex Ryan are the first one to part ways.
Yes.
I think that's an easy answer, and there's a good chance it happens. How about Jeff Fisher and the St. Louis Rams? I think they have a lot of expectations, and I don't think they're very good. I think Sam Bradford struggles. I think the Rams struggle. I think they go 3-13, 4-12,
Whoa.
and their coach gets fired, Jeff Fisher.
Now, if that happens, Jeremy, does that mean Sam Bradford's out of a job?
Yeah, I think he should be. Remember, they passed on RG3, Mike, 2 off seasons ago. They passed on the opportunity to pick second and pick RG3. They traded out. They put all their trust in Bradford. That's a waste of time. He gone. And the Cincinnati Bengals with Andy Dalton. I think they're surrounding him with so much talent with the running backs, with Bernard, and you have A.J. Green and some top-flight receivers up and coming. Our buddy Marvin Jones, the double tight ends, the defense. I think Andy Dalton sucks. I really do.
So, I mean, I know he sucks, but it seems like, look at Christian Ponder. He's still there. He's still playing. They made the playoffs last year. It just seems like sometimes people don't care as much about the quarterback, and they want talent everywhere else.
Well, I just think there's a lack of quarterbacks out there. I think there's 20 to 25 quarterbacks that should be playing in the NFL. There's 32 teams. So right off the bat, 7 teams don't have NFL quality quarterbacks. And I can name them right now. What are the Raiders doing? What are the Jaguars doing? What are the Bengals doing? I don't think Andy Dalton's an NFL quarterback. I really don't.
Well, I would say he's on the top tier of medium to bad quarterbacks.
He's in the top tier of bad quarterbacks. I mean, Tony Romo's on the list for me. I don't trust that guy.
I don't either. I don't know how
Dez
he's still there.
is my MVP. That's all on Dez.
It
If
is.
Peyton Manning, Dez would be even better.
It would be a nice team. Moving on to the rookie of the year, Jeremy. I went for somebody that this might be a long shot, but this could happen. This man has maybe some talent around him. He could be the star of the team, and this could take him to the next level. I'm going to say rookie E.J. Manuel could take it to the next level and become rookie of the year.
That's bold, Mike. I like it. Bold and brash. You're buying into the read option quarterback, clearly.
I'm all in, Jeremy. As you can tell by some of my fantasy teams, I'm in.
Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, RG3, and now EJ Manuel. I like that pick. I'm going to go with a little bit of a homer pick here. The Dolphins traded up to 3rd overall for a pass rush specialist out of Oregon, Deion Jordan. You don't know his name right now. You're going to know his name in a few short weeks. I think he's going to have 1 or 2 sacks a week. That's 16 to 32 sacks this year. That would be a record if he gets 32. And he's a rookie. He's going to be the rookie of the year.
Worst team in the NFL. I mean, I think we already talked about this, but overall for me, number 1 is the Raiders. They bring Matt Flynn down. Matt Flynn loses a job to a guy that used to be a wide receiver and now is throwing the ball as a quarterback, Terrell Pryor or whoever, and they go with him, which doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it'll be fun for the fans to see this quarterback get smashed and hit by guys left and right every week, but this is the worst team, maybe the worst franchise in the last 5 years. They have not done anything. Worst
They
team.
haven't done anything. And I think the reason they went to Pryor is because their offensive line is so bad that they had to go to a scrambling quarterback. What does that say about your team when your line is so bad you can't even put a white quarterback back there to drop back and pass? That's an issue for Oakland. I feel like they're still living in the Al Davis years, and those were sad, sad years.
Bad time. So are you?
My worst team is not the Raiders, not the Jets. I think their defense plays better than people think. I think they win 5 or 6 games this year. Could be the Jaguars, but I'm going with the St. Louis Rams. I think they are the worst team in the NFL.
Wow, Jeremy, that's a bold one. I feel like there's more talent there than any other team you just mentioned. So we'll
We'll
see.
see. And that's why it comes down to coaching, and that's a perfect segue to why Jeff Fisher is going to be fun.
If you want to catch more of our shows, go to youtube.com/The Sports Hangover.
It's football season, baby!
Football season starts tomorrow. We'll be tweeting live all the time at TSH Podcast, and check us out at thesportshangover.com. If we don't get molested or abused, we'll be back sometime soon.
Football's